quoting what you said in The Sun, less Islam. Surely less Islam means less people of the Muslim faith. That means less Sajid Javids, less Sadiq Khans.
Well, that
it
depends.
means anyone who's a Muslim. That's what it means, isn't it?
Welcome back, everyone. Newsnight foolishly gave Douglas Murray an 8-minute slot on the show, and of course he was going to use every second of that to smear Muslims, and of course that's exactly what he did. Before we look at what Mr. Murray said, let's take a look at the response from broadcaster Matthew Stadlen defending Muslims.
Douglas Murray is a man who has said of Humza Yousaf, who was the First Minister of Scotland, that he had infiltrated the British political system. Humza Yousaf is someone who was born in Britain, born in Scotland. This man is an extremist, in my view, and the Overton window, which we talked about earlier, has shifted so significantly that, and I don't criticise Newsnight for doing it, that he has been given an 8-minute interview on prime BBC television. And that is concerning because more and more people, it seems to me, share his repulsive views. Imagine, just for a moment, Nick, being one of the millions of British Muslims, law-abiding British Muslims, watching him say those things.
We did question him.
Firstly, a big thanks to Matthew for standing up for the Muslims. The world Muslim population is around 2 billion. Even if 1% of them were extremists, are you telling me there's 20 million Muslim extremists? Anyway, let's hear exactly what Mr. Murray had to say.
Quoting what you said in The Sun, less Islam. Surely less Islam means the writing about this issue for 10, 20 years or so and writing about Islamic extremism in this country. And in 2017, after the Manchester Arena bombing, you talked about, because of that threat of Islamic extremism, we should have less Islam in this country. Was that a wise phrase, talking about less Islam?
Well, I think it's perfectly wise phrase, perfectly open to misrepresentation. I think I said it at the encouragement of the BBC.
Well, I'm reading your article.
It was on the BBC.
In the Sun.
It was on the BBC. That's why.
I'm quoting what you said in The Sun, less Islam. Surely less Islam means less people of the Muslim faith. That means less Sajid Javids, less Sadiq Khans.
Well, that
it
depends.
Means anyone who's a Muslim. That's what it means, isn't it? Isn't that provocative?
I mean, it would also mean less people like the Abedi family, wouldn't it?
Yes,
I mean, yeah, exactly.
So the point is, you're talking about less Islam. That is Muslim people.
No. Just bear with me, because I know better than you what I think. This country has had a wildly stupid and lax immigration policy for decades. And we allowed people like the Abedi family, a family of jihadists who'd fallen out with Colonel Gaddafi because they were from rival jihadist groups. Jihadism comes from Islam. Therefore, if it's 1%, 5%, 15% of people of the Muslim faith who follow that version of it, you've got a hell of a problem. There
is a problem with fundamentalism and Islamic extremism.
And fundamentalist Islam comes from Islam.
You're saying less of everyone, which means less Sajid David, less Sadiq Khan.
No,
and you're stereotyping
no problem
everyone.
at all with Sajid. No, of course it's not stereotyping. I mean, this is a kind of dated conversation to my mind, because this is all being addressed elsewhere as we speak. Nobody else is as incredibly slow in learning as the British media and political class when it comes to this problem. Why is it the case that Saturday after Saturday we have thousands of people going through major British cities who support the death cults who would murder Jews and the rest of us next? That's a question you and I and Newsnight should answer.
Clearly, the message on Newsnight from Mr. Murray was one of division. Let's also hear from Joe Wilson, leader of the Lib Dems party 2019.
I mean, you'll presumably agree with Douglas Murray that there is a problem with Islamic extremism. We all want to combat that. But what did you think of what he had to say about less Islam?
Well, I think you were charitable in saying that he was talking to you earlier. I mean, he was sneering in a very self-satisfied way with an extreme arrogance. I think, frankly, his contribution there was actually about sowing division, about trying to pit groups of people against each other. There is no contradiction, nor should anyone say that there is, between being appalled at the acts of October the 7th, of the atrocities that Hamas carried out, and also being appalled at the violence meted out to children in Gaza hospitals. I think most people watching this show would feel appalled and horrified at both of those circumstances. And part of the problem here is when people are told they have to choose a side. Actually, this is about whether or not you're taking the side of division, or whether or not you want to have the side of people getting along and living alongside one another in a country, as most people want to do and as mostly happens. And I think, frankly, the message that he is peddling is one of division that is deeply unhelpful.
Thanks to Joe for also stating the obvious double standards. Less Islam means less people people of the Muslim faith. Exactly. I think Newsnight were being far too generous and kind to Mr. Murray. If that was anyone saying anything about the Jews or Israel, it would immediately be called anti-Semitism. Not only that, but we'd have the likes of Piers Morgan banging on about it for the next 12 months. Like I said earlier, I think 1% of the Muslim population is 20 million, and I don't think there's 20 million extremists. That's more than the population of the Netherlands. So when Mr. Murray says less Islam, he means less Islam. Anyway guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. Support me by liking and subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.